What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. We're back for another Thursday of action today. And boy, I'm really relieved because when I got dressed this morning, I had that hoodie that you've got on in my hands, but I didn't wear it. I wore this one. I was going to wear it tomorrow. So that would have been very embarrassing to start the show off dressed the same.
You know, I thought the same thing when I put it on this morning. I said, yeah, I've done a couple of shows without, and he hasn't had that on, and it might be in the rotation. And it was just in the rotation for me. You know, it was up in front, so I grabbed it, and it's warm, and it's freezing cold here. So, and the Lions have a big game tonight. That's another reason. So, anyway.
Yeah, I usually have it in the rotation. Anybody that watches the YouTube, feed, whether it be videos with Magic or this show or Blinkers Off, I usually will have it on one day during the videos. So didn't today. Yeah, listen, I wanted to start off with this because you were all over Twitter last night following the triple overtime win. Providence defeats Xavier and cashes your parlay. Jason Hummel joins us and he says, Papa Dude survived Providence. You won $130 last night. Tell us a little bit about that parlay.
Well, you know, here was what was pissing me off. I picked, a lot of things, but I picked two upsets.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was a slight favorite. So I was figuring, okay, if I miss one, it'll be the upsets. So I picked Creighton over St. John's, and that's what really drove the thing up a little bit because
they were plus 170, right? Or 140?
Yeah, they were pretty much up there. I think they were like 7-point underdogs to St. John's, which I couldn't figure that out. Why that was such, you don't get that line very often. And the other one was South Carolina and Mississippi State. At South Carolina, I think they were like 3-point underdogs maybe. So I thought that's logical. They're going to win that game. So I thought this is one of these rare nights where you got a couple upsets that makes sense, perfect sense. But the Providence game, if you've watched Providence, they have won so many close games. And people sometimes say, well, you're lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky. Well, no, you're not. You got guts and you're in close games and you know how to win them. Mm-hmm. And you got talent. And they do. And all those Big East games, I'm telling you, that would have been a game that I would have loved to have just sat and enjoyed, but I couldn't. And I was so impressed with Xavier because they really needed that game. Yeah. I probably would have been rooting for them if they didn't have money on it. But, when the roof started leaking, they were actually thinking about, I guess they have another place across town where they can play on campus. I'm not familiar with the Providence thing. I'm assuming this is a city arena where they play, and they have an on-site facility that doesn't seat near as many on campus. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about packing the teams, officials, and everything, and just going over there and finishing them. Would that not have been wild?
That would have been crazy.
Yeah, there's only like 2 minutes and something left in the game. Whenever they decided it was standing water up on top of the roofs that had been standing up there and leaking through by the scoreboard, the midcourt overhead scoreboard.
Yeah.
And it was gushing out of there for a while. And they put fans up there on top of the building and all kinds of stuff. And finally, I guess they got it to where it was, they got it off of there, I guess. But anyway, that was quite a deal. It was a game that lasted forever. Highs and lows. Thought Providence was beat a couple of times. And then I thought they had Xavier beat. It was a great game. It really was.
I was with you. I thought, they got it. And then I'd turn it and I'd go back. I was like, oh, shit, they're behind. And, yeah, it was a madness. And if you weren't watching what Papa Dude and Jason are talking about here, literally water was gushing from the roof
Yeah.
with a couple minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was
A
unbelievable.
player slipped. A player slipped.
Yeah.
And then they obviously saw it, and they were out there with mops and all kinds of stuff trying to, stop it up. And it was anything you want to see in a basketball game. It was, you had it.
Yeah, and then I thought it's 88-85, second overtime. It looks like they've got it, and then they allow him to hit a 3-pointer. Then it's like, it was his foot on the line or not. They had a long review. They had to really zoom in. It was just barely behind it.
It was
did
crazy.
have everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had intentionally fouled earlier in the game, like 12 seconds left, to put them on the free throw line instead of hitting a three that maybe tied it. They fouled.
Yep.
And here was the perfect time to do it with a 3-point lead, 5 seconds left, and he hit the shot at the buzzer, and there were two guys right there just foul him before he shoots it,
Yeah,
but you got to give Xavier credit. They were phenomenal last night. They really were.
Xavier's one of those teams. When I don't pick Xavier, they play very well, and when I pick them, they play like shit. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to get them right, but yeah, they were good. It was a hell of a game. It was real surprising. I really wasn't following that game much, and I just kept going back to it, and then of course all the overtimes I watched. So
Well,
that was something.
I got down to that game and I thought to myself, why did you pick a freaking Big East game as your, couldn't you have found somebody else that was a slight favorite to throw in there? Why did I do this? Because every Big East game, it's a toss up. I mean, when you're there's only one team that's not any good, and that's Georgetown, and they're terrible. Other than that, DePaul can beat you. Anybody, Butler comes up and beats somebody sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a phenomenal league of really, really good teams. And there's a lot of leagues like that right now. These games with the Big 12 and the SEC and what's the other one? The Big 10. Man, you don't know from night to night who's gonna win.
Yeah, they're total toss-ups every night. And the best thing to do when you're gambling these or wagering on these is don't be reactionary. Like, they're just beating up on each other. So don't, if a team loses 2 in a row, don't be like, well, they're awful now. And then, because they'll win 2 in a row. They're trading off wins. The best thing to do is stick with 3 or 4 teams that you really like and kind of ride that hot hand.
And you'll miss one every once in a while. Like night in Villanova.
Yep.
And they went to UConn, I don't know, Tuesday night or Monday night, and had them beat and blew it right at the last, because guess what? UConn's pretty good. So it's a tough league.
That's absolutely right. UConn is a good team, man.
They are.
That's very true. And then, Virginia played Duke really close last night too. I'll be honest, I didn't watch any of this game. I was following it on the scoreboard, and man, it got real tight. Did you see any of this one, or were you too focused on your Providence game?
Off and on, I switch over there. I've seen Virginia a lot over the years, and they're one of those teams hard to beat.
Yeah,
they're not as good this year. I'm not too sure about Duke. They're not in my favorites to win it all.
No.
In fact, if they weren't Duke, I'm not sure I'd be talking about him too much. So, of course, you can't bet against them. You just can't. That's just a dumb thing to do. It's like betting against Alabama.
Yeah. They still, I still think they're tops in that conference.
No doubt.
Yeah, but they certainly. I don't know. I don't look at them the same way I look at like a Kentucky or an Arizona, even a Gonzaga. I really don't. So
I think this tournament is going to be unbelievable because there's a lot of really good teams.
Yeah,
because on a given night can beat somebody like in Arizona. Arizona's great, but there's another team somewhere along the line that might beat them. That's the thing. I mean, they're not head and shoulders above everybody else.
No, I don't think we have a standout team.
No.
And like I said, that's what makes it fun. By the way, Isaac's back from a little hiatus. Isaac is back, and he returns on the same day the NBA is back.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Missing the NBA. Don't worry, it's back.
Back.
Isaac's Warriors will play tonight.
They play tonight. I picked games, but I don't remember.
The Warriors play at Portland tonight.
That's what I
thought. Game, really. We'll see. It looks like as I go down the NBA slate, what do they got? Got 7 games tonight. You find our picks for all the games tonight on the website, racenews.com/sports, and then click on the free NBA picks. Looks like the only game we have different tonight. No, I'm sorry. We have two games different. You picked the Celtics to beat Brooklyn, and you also picked the Bulls to beat the Hawks, and I picked Brooklyn and the Hawks. So we'll see how that shakes out.
That's right.
All right. Well, listen, this is a sports show. We've done sports for the first 10 minutes of the show, and we'll do it at the end as well. We'll talk about college basketball coming up this weekend. But we talk about stuff that's important to us, and there's not much more important to us than Oaklawn Park. So it is a sports show, but we are going to do horse racing. We've done that before. This is nothing new. It is a horse racing channel as well, so not that big a deal that we're doing it. But it's Rebel Weekend at Oaklawn, and we're very excited about it. And we thought we'd go through the Rebel and Honeybee cards today for you before we started college basketball. Two races that are preps Rebel for the Kentucky Derby and the Honeybee for the Kentucky Oaks. So two really important races. I'll put them up on the screen now. We'll start with the Rebel Stakes. It's the main event on the card. It's going to go off as race 11 on Saturday at Oaklawn. Look, I don't know how strong the field is, but they do get 11 runners into the field. I thought that was more than they would get, but they do. Mile and 16th, 50 points awarded to the winner of this race towards the Kentucky Derby, unless it's the number 2 Newgrange, who's trained by Bob Baffert and cannot earn points. All right, Papa Dude. I think the race runs through Newgrange. I think he's the one you got to beat here. But kind of give us your overall thoughts to kind of start off about this race.
Well, I think he's the logical choice. I didn't see just a lot of really back class in very many of these horses. I'm a little surprised, to be honest, at the field. Is that the best Asmussen's got?
Well, Epicenter down at Louisiana, but it is
that's his best, and he ran that one there.
Right, but you're not counting him. You're saying at Oaklawn, is this his best 3-year-old?
Yeah.
And you're talking about the number 8 Chasing Time. It seems like it. It seems like it.
Yeah, I didn't think the field was very good. Any reasons why they're not coming there, Aaron? Is there any reason?
Well, let's get into that. Yeah, first of all, I was going to ask, and I was going to ask it just a bit later, but we can do it right now because I think it's a good question. Oaklawn prides itself on really good local 3-year-olds, right? So where are they this year? Is this one of the weakest crop of Oaklawn 3-year-old locals that you've ever seen for the male side?
We've talked about this a lot over the years, Aaron, you and I. And I don't want, this is going to sound pretty bad, and I don't mean it that way, because you know how I feel about trainers. The guts of the horse racing world are the everyday trainers, not the big boys like Pletcher and Baffert and those guys. Oaklawn doesn't have those kind of people. They just don't, that are there throughout the year or throughout the meet, with the exception of Asmussen. And of course, D. Wayne used to be, but he's not.
Brad Cox.
And Brad, but I don't see a Brad Cox horse in here either.
Yeah. Well, the big difference is, say Pletcher is at Gulfstream. He's going to be at Gulfstream. With Cox and Asmussen, obviously two big headlining trainers. They split their divisions between the Fairgrounds and Oaklawn. And so they'll have some at Oaklawn, some at Fairgrounds. So it weakens and lessens that situation. But go on.
But I've seen over the years, and again, this is my track, and I love Oaklawn and everything about it. I've seen the local horses not very strong and declining in the last few years. And I don't really know what they do about that. I don't know. The purses are incredibly, they're as good as anybody. I guess the fact that Oaklawn is in Hot Springs is kind of an out of the way place. Do you think that's got something to do? Oh, they don't have a turf course. That's another factor. They've got to figure out something about the turf course, because that takes away trainers that have turf horses.
Yeah.
And a lot of trainers do. So that hurts them. I think prestigious wise, trainers know what the Arkansas track's all about. I mean, I think as far as prestige goes. But anyway, What was the question?
Well, why are the locals so weak?
Yeah.
So listen to this stat, and this is really pretty amazing. Let's see how far I can go back. Let's go back from 2007 to now. Okay.
Yep.
We have a local trainer that won it in 2009 with Win Willie and Mac Robertson.
That was Mac Robertson.
The big 50-1 shot.
Mm-hmm.
We had a local trainer win in 2013. That was Will Take Charge with D. Wayne Lucas. And we had a local trainer win the Rebel in 2019, Steve Asmussen with Long Range Toddy. Now, put a star by that one because that was a split race. And Omaha Beach won the other half of it. So if it wasn't a split race, would Long Range Toddy have beaten Omaha Beach? Maybe not, but we'll count that. So 3 times since 2007. The rest of them have been won by Bob Baffert, Todd Pletcher, Jeff Bondi won one in 2008, and then Richard Mandel, like I said, with Omaha Beach. So that's why you get into this race, and it's Baffert, and it's like he's 9-5. He doesn't lose this race very often with favorites.
No, he doesn't. And we don't know how good this horse is. I went back, believe it or not, I went back and watched the replay. I watched it live, and I thought, well, I'm going to go back and replay it. I was very impressed. I thought the horse ran a really good race, ran it exactly like you're supposed to, just kind of stalked the pace and then boom, blew him away down the stretch. There's nothing not to like about him, I don't think. Do you?
No, I know. He's my top pick for sure. By the way, Bob Baffert's won 8 Rebels since 2007, has also won the last 2 Rebels in a row with Nadal and Concert Tour. He's won it three times in a row during this time period, twice as well. He won 2010 Looking at Lucky, 2011 The Factor, 2012 Secret Circle, and then he won it again with 2014 Opportunity, 2015 American Pharaoh. He was okay, and then 2016 Cupid. So nothing new if he wins it again for the 3rd straight year.
Yeah, I've got to pick him too. Then the rest I kind of like the one a little bit. I did the last time. He was ahead most of the race, but then faded. I don't like that. Dennis says, yeah, he may be the lone speed.
Mm-hmm.
Newgrange sucked him under the last time. I don't know why Newgrange can't do it again.
Well, I think Newgrange, to Dennis's point, it does look like Cavitt might get a little bit easier of a lead. The problem, Dennis, I wish Newgrange was, for your argument of trying to get this horse home, I wish Newgrange was drawn in the 10 post again today. I think the biggest problem is going to be Newgrange has speed, kind of wasn't able to show it, didn't get out of the gate all that well. It just wasn't that, great early in that race. But drawn right next to Cavitt in the 2-hole, as long as he gets out of the gate, I think he's up there with him. And I think he'll make things tough on him. But the number 1 Cavitt, a horse that has finished 4th in both the preps, the Smarty Jones and the Southwest Stakes. And both paces were kind of hot there. So maybe with a better trip, he's got a chance.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I wanted to ask you about the number 6 horse, Stellar Tap. This is a horse coming in for Steve Asmussen from Fairgrounds after finishing 3rd in an allowance. I know you're a big Asmussen guy like I am. I'm trying to think of upsetters now, maybe horses that can maybe finish underneath at a price. Did you look at Stellar Tap much? What do you think about him?
I have to admit I did not. I
didn't like him.
I looked at I saw you had 2 others in there. I can't get off of the 8. I think the 8 has a legitimate chance to win. I went back and I watched the allowance race that he won, a month ago, I guess.
Yep.
And I watched it again. That was an impressive. I don't know what was in the field. I don't know how good the field was. It didn't make no difference. He won by as much as he wanted.
Mm-hmm. So that's the Asmussen you're definitely gonna be
no
interested
doubt about it. I can't believe he's 8-1. What I guess is Rosario running somewhere else?
Yeah, so Rosario is over in Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Cup this weekend. So that's why he's not here. But they got Gaffleone to come, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, why would Asmussen has a way of they improve. He knows what he's doing. This will be the first stakes race, I think, for this horse. It's quite a jump up from an allowance to $1 million race. But the field isn't that good. And at 8-1, I don't think it'll be 8-1.
No.
Do you? I think you'd be bet down to 3-1, maybe.
I was going to say, I think he'll be a clear second choice, 3-1, 4-1, somewhere
Yeah.
around in there. I know a lot of us. You could see a reaction video to Magic and I when we saw the morning line odds on the YouTube page. Now we both got crazy.
And then you got the 7 and the 9
Mhm.
that were in the race the last time and finished second and third and ran pretty well. They sucked under the one horse too, easily. And that's another thing. There's 3 horses that sucked the one horse under, not just one.
Yeah.
But they really haven't done anything. I think it's a 2-horse race between 2 and 8. What do you think?
Yeah, I do as well. I don't like the 7 Ben Diesel. He had no excuse to lose last time out. Not only does he lose, he gets beat by Barber Road. No excuse. He should have won the race. At worst, he should have got second. Barber Road kind of just seems like that horse that's going to always be closing, and everybody's going to go, oh, next time. I think he's just a second or third place type. I don't think he will win it. Yeah, the 2 and the 8 seemed like the big 2 there. Dash Attack, who won the Smarty Jones, was nowhere to be found last time out. I don't really like him either. One thing I'll say on Dash Attack, if the weather gets bad and the rain hits that track, he is 2 for 2 over a sloppy track. So you might keep that in mind. The last one before we move on to the Honeybee, I wanted to ask you about, what about Coach's horse? What about number 10, Thrill Road? This horse closed at this distance last time out against Baden Special Weight Company and won by 4. What do you think about the 10 horse here?
Well, he's got a chance, I think. The coach, he's got to have an entry in a race like this. So you don't really, you can't pay a whole lot of attention to it.
Yeah.
It's the Rebel. He's got a horse that won a maiden. So what the hell? Let's throw him in there.
Yeah.
As he always said, you got to be in it to win it. And
that's
right. That's true. I mean, if you want to play him underneath, he just really hasn't done enough. You wouldn't think he would win this. You wouldn't think he would be ready, but stranger things happen.
A couple questions before we go on. Jason says, isn't Tyler talking about Aspuson? Isn't Tyler his go-to jockey right now? Thoughts on the 8? He's used him at Churchill Downs when Rosario got hurt, but Rosario is really the number 1. Gaffleon would be the number 2. So yeah, I think him coming over is a great sign for the 8 horse without any doubt. It's just going to be, is he good enough to win? But he has the signs of a horse that should run pretty good in this race. James asks a good question.
Why
doesn't Santana ride for Aspuson anymore? And it's a simple answer. Well, complex if we get into the reasoning maybe, but the simple answer is he got fired. Aspuson fired him. They went through a slump at Keeneland during the fall meet, a very bad slump, and Aspuson got rid of him. That's the only really way to put it. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think Aspuson won like 1 race at that Keeneland meet, and when that happens, somebody takes the fall, and it seems to be Aspuson, or it seems to be Ricardo. Ricardo was back on his horses early in this meet when Rosario was hurt, but since Rosario has come back, Ricardo's on very few Aspuson horses. So surprising, isn't it?
It's the tricks of the trade, I guess. Somebody's got to take the fall.
Yeah,
it is surprising because he's won a hell of a lot of races for Asmussen, and I don't think Ricardo's changed the way he rides a horse.
No.
It's just one of those things happen. And you and I both have nothing but admiration for Asmussen. Yeah. We think he's one of the best. He's my favorite trainer. There's no question about it. Because the thing I like, and I've said it on here before, he wins with $5,000 claimers. He might have a $7,500 maiden. He doesn't care. He likes to win races. And a lot of these guys, they don't mess with that. When you get to his level, I mean, he'll buy horses. He claims them and buys them himself and runs them back in a $10,000 claim. I love that about him. He's very accessible. He's human. And he has an ego.
Yeah.
When you're going through a losing streak, I don't care how many wins you've had or how many races you've won or what kind of year you've had or how many great horses you've had. You're losing. You can't handle it very well.
Yep.
And he reacted. And who knows? We don't know what might have happened between the two. We don't know.
Yeah. But I think again, without knowing the inside details, and I certainly don't either. I'm not going to sit here and say I do, but without knowing the details, how Papa Dude laid that out is pretty much, I would say, what happened. He has a huge ego. He does not want to lose races, and that's just how it is. And they just
and
fired his ass.
Santana may have had words.
Could have,
because he's got an ego too.
Yeah,
and he's won a lot of races, and
yes, he does. Yeah,
he's got a right to voice his opinion. He's not some little flunky rider.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, it sounds like Asmussen in a slump at Turfway Park. 29 starts, 0 wins, 1 second, 2/3 at Turfway. I bet he has some of the worst horses in his barn at Turfway.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't take too much into that, but that's not good. That's not good at all. Can't argue with that. All right, let's move on to the Honeybee. By the way, we're both on the 2 Newgrange to win, and then the 8 Chasing Time in second. Correct?
Well, we are, but we hope the 2 loses.
Well, sure, but Newgrange looks awfully good.
I can't bet against him.
Now 3 wins in a row, and like I said, won at Oaklawn last time out, despite not really liking the track. That's another thing we talked about. He kind of struggled over the track for a lot of the races.
Let's throw this out there too. I don't know what kind of weather Hot Springs has had. I'm assuming it's rain and ice like we've had. Mm-hmm. They're 5 hours south of us. But I know Oklahoma City got blasted, and they're about the same. Mm-hmm. Assuming it went through there, what's that track going to be like by Saturday?
It's funny, as we were talking, one of my friends just asked another one of my friends in a group text that works at Oaklawn, are we going to be racing tomorrow? So I quickly went and looked at the weather. Hot Springs got some ice today, and it looks like tomorrow, though, it's going to be sunny and warm. Warmer at 42, but then Saturday it is rain in the forecast. So 40 degrees and rain. The scary thing is, it looks like the ice and stuff is over, just rain now through Sunday even. The scary thing is the temperature gets below freezing level, and that's important at Oaklawn because they can't put chemicals on the track to thaw it. So if it freezes, they just have to drag it over and over and over. I think racing Friday is 50-50. Yep. And Saturday, I'm sure they will have racing, but that's not a great forecast. Even if it doesn't rain at all, there's going to be some moisture in that.
You say 40 is the high?
40 is the high on Saturday. Yeah,
that is cold, and I sure am glad we're not going. Aren't you?
Boy, I know. I thought about going on a couple occasions, and I said, I just got over COVID. I don't really want to go. And then
Aaron, this is another thing. And again, we'll get used to it. But this is not Rebel Weekend.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to ask about that. So the old school Oaklawn people, the second or third week in March is Rebel Weekend. Yeah. This is absolutely not Rebel Weekend. Has that it has for me. I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm just not as into it. I'm into it, obviously. It's a derby prep, but it doesn't feel right.
No.
What about for you? Same?
I am the same way. And a lot of it is I'm got this new thing we're doing together here, and it's taking up a lot of my free time that I used. Well, I never did have a lot of free time, but I had some. Yeah. And I used to just delve into Oaklawn, and now I'm like you. This meet has just not done much for me. I never used to, if I was home, which I'm home every day now, I would be tuned in to the live feed of Oaklawn on Twin Spires, watching every minute of it. And there's days I don't even remember it's on. Yeah. I don't even think, oh God, it's Friday, 6:00. I missed Oaklawn. I don't even, I never would have done it before. I don't know what it is. When they made this move to start their season in December, I thought it was a little odd because of the weather. You run the risk of running your big races in very cold weather.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened in this one,
Yeah. The Rebel it's usually 50-50, but there has been times during the Rebel where we have been down there in shorts.
Absolutely.
And a t-shirt and been totally fine. And it's March weather around this part of the country. It
it's
could be really nice and it could be bad. But yeah,
Right.
February is just
Well, this is a day where they have 35, 45,000 at the Rebel
mm-hmm.
when the weather's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there many times, and I don't think the crowd's going to be very good. Of course, they've got a lot of indoor seating at Oaklawn.
Yeah, but that's not really why you go to Oaklawn.
Oh, absolutely not.
Some of us, but not all of us.
Well, what I'm saying, if you're local, you might still go ahead and go.
Yeah,
you sit upstairs.
Yeah, you definitely could, and I think they'll still have a decent crowd. But you're right; I don't think it's going to be quite the same. I talked to a guy who always brings a big group of people down. He said, "Piss on it. We always go Rebel weekend. We're going third weekend in March still. Like I don't want to go down there in February."
It is kind of a tradition, and the Derby's, the Arkansas Derby's been moved up, and
I hate that too.
Be, because it was always the second week in April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now it's the last weekend in March.
Yep. No, it's the first weekend in April.
First weekend in April.
Yeah.
So they moved it up 2 weeks.
But it's like April 2nd, I think. So it's almost
that's
March,
what I was thinking. That's weird, but anyway.
Yeah. I hate it, but whatever. It is what it is. I also hate no racing on Thursdays. But anyway, we'll go on to the Honeybee. That's our next one. And we've got a field of 6 here, but all eyes seem to be on the number 3, Secret Oath. For Dwayne Lucas, he trained the dam of this horse, absent-minded. And now he's got her daughter here, Secret Oath. Really, really nice horse by Arrogate. 2 blowout wins at Oaklawn Park, including the Martha Washington last time out. Next step up, Honeybee here. A little bit one horse I think that's a little bit tougher than what she's faced. But what do you think about the coach's filly in the Honeybee?
If she runs like she has, I don't know about that 2.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that one. She just smoked that field. I mean, if you go back and watch that, the jockey is choking her to death. That horse is wanting to go on the back stretch, and that horse, if you'll watch, he's doing everything he can to keep that horse from blowing out there. And then when he lets her go, it's over. Mm-hmm. It's not even close. I mean, it just smoked him. And so excited because I'd love to see him have a great horse, another one. It would be just to have him interviewed.
Yeah.
And the stuff he says, it's just incredible. So I'm pulling for this one. I don't care a thing about the Rebel. This is the one that really excites me. Dennis made a comment that he might put her in the Derby.
Yeah.
And none of us would be surprised. Right?
Mm-mm.
I would like to see the horse in person. In fact, this was the one reason I might have gone. I wanted to see I'd like to see how big she is, see if she's a big filly.
She looks like it on TV. Yeah.
And you can't really tell until you actually see them, but I'd like to see her and just see if she fits the bill of a Zenyatta or somebody like that that's big and can run with the boys. I'm really looking forward to it. To watching this. This will be good. I just hope she comes through. Don't you? It's going to be a real disappointment if she doesn't.
It's going to be a disappointment for 2 different levels. One, you want that kind of the coach to have one, and that would be kind of cool, kind of a fun story. And 2, with Dwayne, and Dennis said it before we even started talking about it, this horse could go to the Derby. If she wins here and she wins impressive, I think there's a big time chance she's in the Arkansas Derby.
Oh, I do.
And that's a great story. And that is how you inject life into a lifeless 3-year-old crop at Oaklawn.
Oh, right? You better believe it. And if you don't think the Oaklawn fans aren't pulling for this horse tomorrow, these are horse racing people, man. I've never seen fans. You've been to Saratoga, they're probably like that, but
I don't think they're quite as rabid as the Oaklawn people. I think there's more of them at Saratoga. I think it's more of a destination, but the locals at Oaklawn are more rabid than any other track.
And they know what they're talking about. And I guarantee you they're standing down there saying the same thing we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
This horse blows them away to Saturday. He's going to put her in the Arkansas Derby unless the owners, say no. Because here's the deal. What's to lose? He might as well.
Yes, exactly.
He might as well give her a shot in that.
Yep. You run her in the
And
Arkansas Derby. Assuming she wins tomorrow, or
right.
excuse me, Saturday. You run her in the Arkansas Derby. If she loses, well, you go to the Kentucky Oaks. No big deal. If she wins, you could still go to the Kentucky Oaks, but all of a sudden you've got two options. By the way, she is Triple Crown nominated. That's very important. So, there's nothing holding her back other than, is she good enough? Based on what I've seen, I think she's better than the rest of the 3-year-olds, males or females, at Oaklawn. Now, can she beat a horse like Newgrange, who might come back to the Arkansas Derby? I don't know.
Yeah.
But first, you got to beat Ugiri. And by the way, the last time these two raced, Ugiri beat Secret Oath. But Secret Oath was not near what she was that race, and she's been in the last two. So step one is to win on Saturday. I think we both are picking her on top, right?
Oh, yeah, I think if you watch the race, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the most impressive. It's just an easy win. And number one was in that race.
Optionality.
And we know that's a decent horse. That horse is decent.
Yeah.
And that horse just, it's like it's standing there watching, like, oh my God, there goes Zenyatta going by me, Didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
What that horse win by? Like 9 lengths, 10, something like that?
Looks like the final margin was 7 1/4. It could have been 17 1/4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those very few races when when there's good horses involved, when they turn for home, you already know it's over.
Yeah.
You just know it.
Yeah, Magic and I were watching, and we set up the backside. He was like, Optionality, who was ahead in the race, was like, that's a multiple stakes winner. And Secret Oath will have to run well because they're about 3 lengths behind to run well to catch her. And then the top of the stretch, I said, what do you think now? He's like, well, name how long it's going to be. It's going to be as much as she wants. So, Ugiri will definitely be tougher. Johnny Velasquez is on Ugiri.
Yeah.
That's a factor.
That's a factor.
Velasquez versus Contreras is a mismatch.
I kind of like that 5 horse a little bit.
Free Like a Girl.
Hasn't run anywhere big, but's won some races, I like horses that win a lot of races, and it has.
I would be shocked. All those wins have come against Louisiana breds.
Exactly. I know.
Maybe as a long shot, yeah.
I'm not saying that horse would win. I'm just thinking, you might give her a look.
If she wins, it would be really surprising to me. Also, a very sprinter-like pedigree, El Deal, who, by the way, I have never seen a horse by El Deal. I'm sure this is the first one. I'm not crazy, but you don't see that. That horse won the Vanderbilt up at Saratoga. I can't remember what year that was. It's been a while for Jorge Navarro. So you probably know what was going on with El Deal. But anyway, he was a sprinter for sure. So pretty fast horse for a Louisiana bred though, right?
Yeah. I just kind of liked some of the stuff. I did see though that she had won rinky-dink races.
Right.
So I guess you just figure, what the heck, let's throw in there and give her a shot.
Well, she's won 6 out of 11 starts, and she's never missed the board. And it's a field of 6 horses here. So, I get it.
Heck yes.
Yep, I get it. And I think she will probably be up there with the 2 Ugiri as far as trying to be up towards the front. And Secret Oath, as we know, kind of does her best running from a little bit off the base. And that's a weapon here that she has tactical speed. She's not dead last, but she doesn't have to be on the lead either to win. So
I do want to tell Isaac, be patient, Isaac. We'll get to the basketball.
Yep.
I know you have ADHD, but just hang in
there. Dennis is trying to find something else in the field, and I think Free Like a Girl is kind of your other one. It's, Ice Orchard won, but wasn't that impressive. Optionality, I just don't know how you can play after getting smoked like that last
Well,
time.
that Ice Orchid did too.
Yeah, I know.
She was in that race.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that horse enough. So if you want to play that long shot, maybe the 5, just kind of give that horse a shot there and see. So all right, well, that's it for the racing. Let's move on to college basketball. I do think we've got a pretty good weekend, and probably the best game is going to be kind of in our backyard, about a mile or an hour and a half south. But we'll get to that in just a second. First on the list, Purdue and Michigan State. To me, Michigan State really needs this one. The motivation's definitely going to be there. They need to get a win here, but can they actually win this game? That's the other question.
I don't know, but let me get the Warriors over with first, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this won't take long. I don't know about the Warriors. What do you think their chances are, Aaron? I they're not playing great. They've stumbled down the stretch. They've lost 4 out of 5 before the break. Maybe the break will help them. They're trying to get healthy. I don't like their chances though.
I like them. I think Phoenix is the team to beat over there. Memphis. I don't think Memphis will be good enough to make it, to be honest. I think when they get in a 7-game series, they're going to get beat. I think it's – you hate to write the Warriors off. They're a comeback story. They've been playing very well.
They got a superstar.
Yeah, they're probably going to get better in the second half of the year.
They're getting healthy, and that's going to help.
I think I'm taking Phoenix as of right now.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
They're 48-10, I think it is. You can't overlook that. Mm-hmm. And they went on the road. It doesn't matter where they play.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see – I hate to say this, Isaac, but I would love to see Phoenix win just because of Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He's the consummate pro. This guy – what it's all about. Mm-hmm. He's a great, great player, a great person. Everybody loves Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Everybody. They're playing so well. But in that Western Conference, you've got them. Memphis is playing as well as anybody. And it looks like right now, if it gets down to the semis, you would have Golden State against them, where Phoenix then would draw somebody like Utah or Dallas. Mm-hmm. Dallas is a sleeper. You better watch them. They've got players. They got a couple of guys hurt. If they get these 2 guys back, they're going to be tough. The thing with Golden State, Klay Thompson is not quite there yet. By the end of the season, he should be rounded into form. Wiggins is a really good player. When Curry is shooting the ball, he's as good as anybody. But he has some games he didn't shoot real well. What worries me, Isaac, is they're losing games against some teams they shouldn't be losing against, and that's a concern. You know, if these crummy teams can beat them, that's a concern, even though I know it's the regular season and it gets old sometimes, especially when you're a veteran team. You know, there's just some nights you don't bring it. So it's going to be interesting. Excellent team. Steph Curry's a tremendous player, no doubt about it. Good person. You know, can't say anything bad about him.
I think a Phoenix Golden State series would be amazing. I think it would just be off the walls amazing. Just end-to-end action, high scoring. It would be fun to watch. So I'm rooting for that. I think the Phoenix Suns are a little bit better. I do think the West is going to win it. Whoever comes out of it. I don't love anybody in the East really this year.
You know, the thing about what sometimes happens, the conferences are just different. They're a little bit more free-flowing offensively in the West. Mm-hmm. They're a little more exciting, score a little bit. And the East is usually a little more physical.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a 7-game series, that makes a difference. But I agree with you. I think the champions coming out of the West, I think the best teams are there. But anyway, don't count out teams like the Heat. Another one of those teams, tough.
Yeah.
Tough team. They play really well every night. The Bulls, I don't know how good they are defensively. And then you got the Bucks, the defending champs, and they've been hurt. So they can get healthy. It's going to be fun watching it down the stretch.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, too. I think it's going to be some good basketball. It's hard to believe there's only about 25 regular season games left. So
what's Dennis talking about here? I don't get.
Let's see. Devo David pissed me off the other night. That was the dumbest play.
Oh, is that the Arkansas guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dennis was mad about that.
He was
on Twitter. He was ranting about this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What did you think about that?
I have to admit, I was channel surfing, whatever you call it. I saw Arkansas pretty much had it, and I flipped another game that was real close, so I didn't see it. So I guess he went up and blocked a shot. Is that what I don't know? Tell me, I don't know what happened on that.
They basically he they got a dunk like late, and then a guy jumped up and hit the backboard.
He jumped up and hit the backboard.
Yeah.
And they got a tee.
If it was real close, that would have been. But I think that, and Dennis, I can't remember because it was late, and I was kind of like, I kind of tuned it out. I think that got him up like 6 dunk, and so it didn't end up making too big of a difference. But yeah, Dennis was hot. He's still hot about it. So.
He is. The point he's making is good. You have to wonder, would he have done that had it been a 1-point game? I don't know.
Right.
I'll tell you this. Arkansas is pretty damn good.
Yeah, they are. Well, let's get to them. Let's get to college basketball. We're going to go a lot quicker through this than we usually do because we had so much Rebel talk and Oaklawn talk today. But I asked about the Purdue-Michigan State game. I mean, Michigan State, I don't like this team at all.
No, I don't either.
And I really like Purdue, but do we see an upset Saturday? They go to Michigan State.
There's 2 teams in the Big Ten I don't like. Them and Ohio State.
I don't like either one of them. Yeah.
No, I don't. They can't. They're unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to play a ton better than what they've been playing to beat Purdue. If Purdue brings their A game, I don't think Michigan State beats them. Michigan State's very well coached, and he's just not been able to bring them out of this funk, which probably tells you they don't have very much talent.
Mm-hmm.
Not there. I think the game will be close. It's Big Ten. Purdue's on the road.
Yeah.
You're the best team in the conference. Sure. They're going to be ready for them. I don't think they beat them, though. I'm going Purdue. I don't know what the line is, so we'll have to see that.
We don't know the line yet. That's always kind of the fun thing. I actually kind of like the show when we do this because we kind of speculate on it. Then you get to see. I always look up Friday night or Friday afternoon when those lines go out and go, ooh. Cool.
I'm going to say 6. I'm going to say 6 for Purdue, something like that.
I would think so. I would think that would be about right. And if you believe, like Dennis believes, that the Michigan State will keep it close, then
I think they
play
will
in this game. I'm not convinced. I don't like them at all. I don't.
No, I don't either. No.
I don't. I have no personal problem with them. Let me be clear. I just don't like them as a team this year.
No, I don't either.
All right, this is the biggest game. To me, this is a top 10 game. The fact that Arkansas is still 18 is crazy to me.
Ridiculous.
This is one of the best games of the year. Kentucky and Arkansas. Listen, this is also going to hurt the Rebel crowd big time.
You bet.
This is one of the biggest basketball games Arkansas has had in a while. And yes, I know Auburn came in there not too long ago, but this is Kentucky. Okay, This is a different animal. Kentucky, Arkansas, a classic in Bud Walton. Who's going to win this game?
This is going to be really, really good.
It is.
Really, really good. And the thing is, Arkansas, if they win, they still have an outside chance to win the conference.
Absolutely.
Auburn's going to have to falter. Yeah. But
they could.
They could this week, Saturday, for sure. I watched some of Kentucky. I didn't get to watch much of it last night because of the Providence game. I'd flip over there every once in a while. They struggled with LSU, but LSU kind of makes you struggle sometimes. Mm-hmm. Kentucky lost to Tennessee the other day, and it wasn't close. They got thumped pretty good. Arkansas is better than Tennessee.
Yep.
I think the Hogs are going to win. I really do. I am so impressed with them. Listen, a lot of people think that game the other night against Florida's good. Mm-hmm. And Florida played great, and Arkansas beat them. And Auburn didn't beat them at Florida. And Arkansas withstood everything Florida threw at them and beat them.
Well, Arkansas got ahead and then got behind in the second half. And you had tweeted out, boy, Arkansas looks good. I said, man, I think you may have jinxed them.
Yep.
They came right back at them.
They did. Yeah. I'm very impressed with them. I think Kentucky's good. Arkansas is just on a roll. They ought to be number 11, 10, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why they're 18. There's no reason it took so long to get them in the top 25.
No.
It's just they went through a slump, but they came out of it. There's a lot of teams go through a slump. Anyway, great game. This is going to be a great one. I bet you Kentucky's favored by like a point.
Mm-hmm. I'd say 1 or 2. Yep. Yeah.
Toss-up game. Just sit back and enjoy this one.
Great game. I'm going Arkansas. I've stuck with the Razorbacks through all of this. I did miss them. Where did they go and lost? Shouldn't have lost.
They lost at I don't remember. Tennessee, maybe? No.
It was on a Saturday.
It was a good team.
It was after they beat Auburn. It was Alabama. It was Alabama.
It was Alabama. Yeah. By 1 point.
I missed them that day, but I had them through all this. I love. Yeah, there you go. Lindsay chimes in.
Lindsay's in. Oh yeah, they don't have school today.
And by the way, Lindsay told me they would lose that game. I said Alabama's not very good. She goes, "You're dumb," and she was right. So all right, but she thinks they're going to lose every game. So she was right about that one.
That's
right. All right, I think Arkansas gets it done though. I really do. I like them. All right,
Lindsay, are you going?
Yeah, I bet she may be going. That's true. Chime in there. I know a lot of Oaklawn Petewell. A lot of my friends who usually go to Oaklawn will be at the Kentucky Arkansas game. So, and listen, it's at 1:00, so it's a terrible time as far as for the Oaklawn crowd. So, Anyway, all right, Texas and West Virginia. Not a lot to talk about here, right? West Virginia, I think, is about done.
Well, I do too. Texas almost lost last night.
I know.
I
know.
I don't have much faith in Texas. I think they win. I think they struggle. Yeah. I don't know what that line will be. What do you say? 7, maybe?
Probably. Yeah. 7, maybe 8, maybe 10.
8. You know. But anyway, I think they pull it out. But I'm not very high on Texas. They're another team I don't think's that good.
Yeah. Looks like Lindsay can't go. She has districts in Seneca. Now, here's the deal.
You're not playing.
Here's the deal. If you do not want to go to the Rebel and you do not want to go watch Arkansas and Kentucky, you can watch district basketball for I don't know what district they are, but district basketball at Seneca, Missouri on Saturday. So there's 3 options for you guys if you need entertainment. All right, let's move on. Auburn and Tennessee. Listen. To me, it's easy. It's easy. I think Tennessee wins. Like
I do too.
Until Auburn goes on the road and wins a game like this, I'm going to pick the other team. And I think Tennessee's very good, and I think they get it done. I think they beat them easy.
If the game is close, they will lose. And if any of you watch it, just watch their coach, not coach.
Yeah.
See, the hardest thing about coaching, folks, is when you're in a close game and you got to call timeout and come up with something to do to win the damn game.
Yeah.
Well, when you're not a good coach, you just stand there and let them get their ass beat. That's what you do.
Yep.
Sorry, Madison. I would be at the Arkansas game and I would skip your last game of the season.
Yeah, so Madison going to play at 4:00 again, Seneca, Missouri. So you could
video and I'll watch it and critique it when I get home.
You could go to the Arkansas game and then get to there by the second half, maybe of her game. So
that would be an option.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I think Auburn gets beat.
I do too. And I don't like to bash coaches, but that's just I've seen him lose. I've seen him lose 2. I said I've seen him lose 2 games, and he just sat there. He never called timeout, nothing. And those guys are out there scratching around. They don't have any direction. What are you doing, coach?
Yeah. Well, and you saw it once at Arkansas, right? So then when you get in that situation again and it didn't work out for you at Arkansas, maybe you change something up the next time you get in that situation.
Exactly.
No, we're not going to do that. Let's see. Here's the Dennis. If you're near Arkansas and don't want to go to the Rebel or the basketball game or the district, you can go to a funeral home and just crawl in because you might as well be dead because you're no fun.
No fun, Dennis. All right.
Dennis from the top rope.
Kind of a negative, little negative con.
Yeah, he's in a bad mood today. I don't know what's going on. All right. UCLA goes to Oregon State. That's not going to be much.
I don't think we have to talk about that one. It's just the line. It's just the line.
Right. Murray State. Murray State is now 26-2. They go on the road to Southeast Missouri State. There's another option. If you live in this area, you could go watch this game. Murray State with ease, I think. In
Well,
Cape Girardeau.
Aaron, we need to mention this. They've got the big one tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
They play Belmont.
Yep.
This is a huge game. Belmont's 24-5.
Yep.
Murray's 26-2. There's no question. If Murray wins tonight, they're in the tournament no matter what happens.
Yeah.
In their conference tournament. They're in. You cannot leave them out. They've been ranked now for 3 weeks. You just can't. Now let's analyze Belmont here for a minute. What if they beat Murray tonight?
Mm-hmm.
That makes them 26-4. Don't they get a shot? You would think they don't have a chance, but you would think they would. But this game, and it's going to be on ESPNU. We're finally going to get a chance to see Murray State, and I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a hell of a game. Now, will they be a little flat going into Cape Girardeau here in Missouri on Saturday? That's one to look at the line. I don't think they lose, but if that line's probably going to be 15, maybe, that might be one you throw some money on Southeast.
Well, I don't know. Southeast Missouri State 12-16 on the season. I don't know. You're gonna need some points. We'll see what it's.
Well, yeah, I think it'll be 15, 16 points. I do.
Yeah, full disclosure, I have no idea if Southeast Missouri State has lost a lot of close games or what.
That's why you're talking to me here. I've been watching this stuff. I can tell you a lot about these teams.
Well, tell us, do they have any shot? I mean, are they better than that record or no?
Yes, they are.
Okay. All right. They played some good teams, I guess, in the non-conference.
Yep. Actually, they did.
Okay.
Memphis, Arkansas. Yeah, they played some pretty good teams.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Murray State, we'll see if they're 27-2 when they come over to Cape Girardeau.
Hold on. If they're 27-2, that means they beat Belmont.
Right.
They're still going to be flat. I would just be looking at that. I tell you, they got players. Southeast has got enough to play them within 10 or 12.
I have, believe it or not, I've seen Belmont 2 or 3 times.
Now this isn't the Belmont horse track.
Oh, never mind. I've never seen them. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the Fighting Ricky Pasternaks of Syracuse going up against Duke. Syracuse playing better. They still, I don't think they're great. They lost to Notre Dame. Was that last night? Yeah, that was last night. Now they host Duke. Duke isn't playing that great either. Any chance for an upset here in the Carrier Dome?
Yeah, there's a chance. I wouldn't. It depends. It's going to depend on the spread. I think Duke wins. They're better. Syracuse, they're not that good. They're not. They're okay, but okay doesn't beat Duke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They seem to give Duke a struggle. I agree. They usually play them decent. If it depends on the points. I think it's a game where Syracuse is going to get 6 or 8 points. They might be able to.
They might. I think they'll get it because of Syracuse. I think they'll get. I'd be surprised if the line's above 8.
Yeah. All right, we're running behind. We're going to skip Texas Tech and TCU. That game bores me. I think this is an interesting game, though. Wisconsin goes on the road to take on Rutgers. The Rutgers streak was bursted last night by Michigan, but they're back at home. They take on Wisconsin. This would be a massive win for Rutgers. They really need this one.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does Rutgers get the win?
They've lost 2 in a row now.
Oh, did they? Yeah, that's right. You're right. Yep. They lost 2.
They have to win this game.
Yep.
They have to.
Yep.
Even though they have 5 wins over top 25 Big Ten teams, you can't discount 16-11. You just can't. Now, their Big Ten record is good. It's 10-7. That's why they got to get this one.
Mm-hmm.
This really helps their chances. The other thing they got going for them, I think it's between them and Indiana for that last spot out of the Big Ten, and Indiana's playing terrible. So, huge game. Watched Wisconsin some last night, the last of that game. They were lucky to beat Minnesota. Mm-hmm. They're beatable if Rutgers gets their act together, but they got thumped pretty good last night.
Yeah, they did. They really disappointed me last night. I thought they would go in there and win against Michigan, and they didn't play very well. But like we talked about, you you can't ride the wave. You got to stay calm when you're betting the Big Ten because
Right.
they all just beat up on each other. I think Rutgers will bounce back and play well here. I think they're going to win.
Michigan won that game last night for their coach.
Well, of course, yes.
Yeah, for Muhammad Ali. Yeah.
Yeah, for Mama, exactly. Let's see. Quick pick here. South Carolina got a big win, like you mentioned, and helped your parlay cash last night. They go to Alabama. I'm still not a believer in South Carolina, but boy, they're playing a hell of a lot better than they were. Do you think they have any shot going into Alabama and winning?
No, they've been kind of beaten up on the lesser teams. They're probably one of the better of the lesser, if that makes any sense. I don't think they can beat Alabama. I've watched Alabama quite a bit. Here's their problem. They've had teams beaten. They can't close them out.
Yeah.
They almost blew that game at Vanderbilt the other night. They did make some plays to win it and maybe got over the hump a little. I think Alabama's kind of a sleeper. They're pretty good. They got talent. If they can figure it out, I think they beat South Carolina. Again, we're going to look at the line. You got to see what the line is.
Yep, absolutely. I think Alabama wins that game.
I do too.
All right, Arizona, my team to win the national championship. Arizona now up to number 2 with a 24-2 record. They go on the road to take on Colorado. You kind of like Colorado a little bit, don't you?
I do. Again, it's going to depend on the line. I don't think Colorado can beat them. They are my best bet tonight. It's Colorado over Arizona State. I think I got 5.5, or they were given 5.5. I think they should cover that. They're pretty good. It's a tough place to play. Just being in the mountains, this is kind of I don't know. It's just a different vibe to it.
Well, it's literally a different atmosphere.
It is. Yeah. And they don't draw real well, or at least they didn't used to when they were in the Big 12. And it was always a tough trip for those Big 12 teams to make, was to go to Colorado. And it will be for Arizona too. But I think they get the job done again. I think they'll probably get 10 or 11 points. That might be too many. You might have to take Colorado if it gets up that high. But Arizona's not going to lose.
Dennis points out correctly, Arizona plays tonight as well on the road at it's Utah, isn't it? Don't they play Utah? Yeah, Utah tonight. Yeah. So Utah, I mean, I picked Arizona, but that could get interesting.
So it's 10 points, I think, or 11. Yeah, that spread's pretty big.
Yeah, that'll get interesting. All right, back at it. Kansas goes to Baylor. This is the other biggie on the weekend. Kansas goes to Baylor. I think this is one that it'll almost be a pick 'em. I think it's going to be close. Maybe Kansas is the favorite. I don't know. It'll be going 1 or 2 points either way, probably. Right. What do you think? Who wins this?
I'm not touching it. No way. Who can tell?
I kind of low-key hate this Kansas team. I can't ever predict how they're going to play.
No.
And Baylor is kind of quickly becoming the same way. I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't either. I have a hard time. Okay, Big 12 basketball, I have a hard time betting against Kansas. I just do, because they own it. They just own the league. Until this year, Oklahoma owned the league in football, and you don't bet against them in the Big 12 because they beat teams because of who they are. I think Kansas has got that too. They thumped Baylor, I believe. Yeah, they did in Lawrence. But it's a game you don't touch. Kansas doesn't overwhelm you when you watch them, but at the end of the day, they win. So I probably would just go with the home team, probably, but it won't surprise me either way. I just don't think you can bet this one.
I know it's tough. That's tough. I couldn't. I really have to think about this one. I think Kansas is going to beat them this year. I really do.
Yeah, if I had to, maybe I'll just listen to my gut and go with Kansas. It's probably what I'll do.
Yeah, and Dennis really doesn't like either team, and he's been saying it for a while. This isn't a new opinion by his. So, yeah, I mean, I see it's still a big one, Dennis. So this is going to, winner here is going to definitely get a 2 seed, maybe a 1 seed. We'll see. I think it's a big one. No, I think Kansas will be the favorite by a point or 2. Did I say Baylor? If I did, I'm sorry. I think Kansas is the favorite in this game.
Yeah, probably 1.
Probably 1 or 2.
It may be a pick 'em, like you said.
It might be, yeah. Isaac believes Kansas will win this game. Okay, seals it. I'm going with you, Isaac.
Yeah, me too. You just convinced me, Isaac.
That'll be my pick. I don't know. I may change that one again. Listen, let's talk about Providence. We haven't talked about them. Oh, yeah, we did for the first of the show. Hey, you know what? They've got another game that's going to be a nail biter. I think
Every
Creighton
one of
comes
them
in
are.
here. This Creighton team, man, I like them. I
do
mean, they're
too.
scrappy. But Providence, 23-3 after the win last night. What do you think? Another nail biter here?
Oh, absolutely. Every
Yeah.
game they play is a nail biter.
Yeah.
This is huge for Creighton. They're trying to play their way in. Win this one, they're in. They may be anyway, but there's so many teams in the Big East that somebody's going to get left out. And they don't have any big non-conference wins, but they got 11 wins in the Big East, and that's pretty damn good. They get this one, they got 12. How can you leave them out? A 20-win Big East team with 12 wins inside the conference? You can't leave them out, can you?
I don't think you can.
And I think a team like Xavier is going to bite the dust.
I'm afraid you're right. I think that Xavier really needed that game. So yeah.
And then you got dadgummit, Marquette. They're slumping. Mm-hmm. So it's just going to be, how many teams are you going to take out of that league? Are you going to take 6? You're going to take 7? So,
yeah.
Good question there. Dennis asks, why is it the Dunkin' Donuts Center? That's because Dunkin' Donuts sponsors it.
That would be my guess. Yes.
It has to be. Or you'd just call it the Dunkin' Center, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I kind of like the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
Oh, I think it's the neatest one I've ever heard. I almost tweeted that out last night. Wasn't sure how to spell Dunkin', though. So.
My wife loves Dunkin' Donuts. We get it every day when we go back to New York.
Let me tell you, I love donuts. I don't care where they come from, as long as.
Well, to be fair, she doesn't like it for the donuts. She likes their coffee.
Oh,
yeah. She doesn't. She
should have known that.
She couldn't care less about the donut.
Okay.
I don't know that we've ever gotten donuts from. Actually, she gets a bagel with bacon and cheese from Dunkin'. So
I don't think I've ever met a fresh donut I didn't like.
No, I agree.
I absolutely love them.
There used to be. Is there still that? We're not gonna get into what's in Aurora, Missouri live on the air. Okay, let's get into the.
Still have a donut shop.
Okay. Let's get into the last two. Gonzaga. Hey, you know what? Gonzaga. They may only be a 12-point favorite this weekend. They go on the road.
They're only 10 tonight.
Hey, that's true. They are.
They're at San Francisco and they're 10. I don't understand that.
Yeah, they'll dominate. All right. Gonzaga goes on the road to take on St. Mary's. St. Mary's is ranked. If Gonzaga's going to lose one in this conference, it's probably going to be here. What do you think, though? Does St. Mary's have a shot at this game?
Watch them some, because I've picked them a couple times as best bets. I don't think they have a shot.
Oh, man.
If Gonzaga plays well, I don't. If they have an off night, maybe. I think they're tournament team for sure. You got to put them in. They've been ranked twice. No, they've lost some games to teams that aren't real good. I mean, there's always a chance. It's at home, but Gonzaga just rips everybody. So I think they beat them by about 12 the other night or 14 and they didn't play very well. I watched some of that. They didn't play very good.
Yeah.
You never know. You get on the road, strange things happen. So.
All right, final one of the weekend, USC and Oregon. By the way, these teams play games tonight. Oregon, I know, hosts UCLA tonight. I can't remember. USC's at Oregon State, obviously, for the Pac-12 thing where they play the twofer when they travel. I think Oregon, let's see. I'll go out on a limb and say Oregon's going to win both of these games. I think they beat UCLA tonight, and I think they beat USC on Saturday. What do you think?
You do? Well,
yeah, I do.
I can't figure Oregon out. They're good one night, and they just stink it up the next. They've lost at home to California. They're god-awful. They got beat by 24 at Arizona State the other night. Just totally blown out, and then 2 nights later, almost beat Arizona. No, was it? Yeah, it was. 84-81.
Yeah, it's close. Yep.
He got beat by 24 to a 7-win Arizona State team. Who knows what they're going to bring? I've watched them some. They got to shoot the ball well. And if they don't, they're in big trouble. So I would lean toward them beating USC more than I would UCLA. UCLA is only a 3-point favorite tonight, which I thought that was kind of strange. But
because they're going to lose.
they went to LA and beat both of these teams in LA. So they're certainly capable. They're on the bubble. They're 17-10. They need both wins. Tough place to play. It's not a bad pick.
Yeah, I think they win both. I really do. I think they get 2 big wins. But I hate USC, so that could be why. All right, here's a question. Would it be a bad idea to take a stab on San Francisco money line and St. Mary's money line against the Zags? I think one of these 2 teams will upset them.
Well, if you think so, I would do the St. Mary's, I think, more than I would San Francisco. I've seen them both. I saw San Francisco play this. Oh my God, just awful one night. So that's why I'd have to. I just can't see Gonzaga losing to San Francisco, but I could see them losing to St. Mary's.
I mean, we will talk San Francisco right into the winner's circle, as they say in horse racing here. I'm with you. I think take a shot with St. Mary's, but I don't know that you need to with San Francisco. But I get what you're saying. And listen, the price is good enough to where you can do that.
Sure.
Where you can make that investment. If you really believe that San Francisco can beat them, yeah, I mean, you got to do it.
Man, you win some money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all know you're independently rich. So
that's exactly right. And the other aspect of it, if you believe they're going to lose one of the 2, and you bet San Francisco tonight, and they are the ones that beat them, then you don't have to bet the next one.
That's right? Good point.
So, because you've already got your money on your strong opinion. I don't know.
Right.
It's just something to look at there.
But then here's another lesson to be learned. Make sure you don't turn around and bet them again to lose all the money you just won.
Well, that's true. That's
the trick of being a good gambler.
That's exactly right. You got to have an opinion, and then you got to make them pay for it. And I don't hate it.
No, I don't either.
I haven't. I have seen San Francisco play a couple times, not as much as Papa did. I think I may have watched the night they played so bad. Who were they playing? Were you talking about? Were they playing
Santa Clara? I think it was.
Yeah, Santa Clara or Santa Barbara, maybe. I can't remember. I don't know.
That's one of them.
Yeah, they were horrible. I agree. All right, that's gonna do it. I don't think we got anything else going on today. You got any final thoughts before we log off?
I just saw Twitter blowing up about Troy Aikman.
Oh yes, yeah. Go ahead.
Which I guess we don't have anything to talk about. Troy Aikman supposedly is leaving Fox to go to Monday Night Football, I believe. Who cares? I like Troy Aikman a lot, but I don't turn on the games because Joe Buck and Troy Aikman or Jim Nance or Tony Romo or Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth are doing the games. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So I just can't believe what we talk about sometimes. It's like it's just the end of the world. What are we going to do? What's Fox going to do? What's Joe Buck going to do? Is he going to do the game by himself? Who are they going to put in there? They ought to get Tom Brady. Yeah, that's a good idea. Get Tom Brady. He would be great. Tom Brady's never done a game. I mean, I'm sure he'd probably be. Hey, how about why don't we get Eli and Peyton in there together and they can fight each other like they do on that other horse shit? Let's get them in there. That'd be good. I just don't understand us.
I did. You said I want to talk about this Troy Aikman stuff, and I'm like, oh God, what did he do? I haven't heard this. You're like, well, he's going to ESPN.
Think he committed a crime or something?
Well, yeah, or something, these days and times.
I mean,
these days and times, when you say I want to hear about this Troy Aikman stuff, I immediately think, what did he say on Twitter 6 years ago that somebody's drug up on him? That's what me. And I thought, well, what did he do? And he told me, well, he's going to ESPN, and I thought, why? I don't.
That was my whole point.
Yeah, I don't care about this.
No, and I mean, I like. A lot of people don't like Joe Buck. I don't understand that either, but that's just, I don't have a problem with any of them, to tell you the truth.
No.
Because you know what I do? I turn the freaking sound off.
That's the thing. I don't listen to
so low, I can't hear them.
Yeah, I don't either.
I need to know why they're doing all this stuff. I just watch the freaking game.
Yeah. I know. I'm with you. So I don't care about whatever. He will be an improvement on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, now Monday Night Football's they've been needing something.
Yeah.
I guess. who they got? Greasy, I think. And
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you who the play-by-play guy is.
Steve Levy is the play-by-play.
He's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's okay.
Yeah, it's nothing to write home about, though. That's for sure. So
I can't. There's so many since I've been watching all these good basketball. All these guys on these games. There's a bunch of good ones. I mean, good ones. These announcers are great. Where do they get all these guys? They're really
for the basketball, they got a ton of them, and I don't really hear a lot of bad ones.
Never heard of a lot of them, and
you got to have a bunch of people.
You do
cover all these games,
and they're really good. Most of them are really, really good. Like that Providence game last night. Steve Lavin was the color guy. He used to coach at UCLA, I think Villanova, maybe. He was really good. He was outstanding last night. He really was.
Yeah, Lavin does a good job. He was good.
He's on a pregame, postgame show every once in a while. He's pretty darn good. He really is. So, all
right, few final questions here. Yes. Isaac, Draymond Green is out tonight, and so is James Wiseman. They're both out tonight.
Okay,
that's all I know past that. But they are both out for tonight's game.
Good.
Did I change locations? I'm still in the basement. Sylvian says the same thing. He's still in the cave. Yeah. Now, if you tune into Blinkers Off tonight, I will be back upstairs. Everything gets moved back up tonight. So.
You had to get to your own show before you actually did that.
No, my wife works from home and we work in the same office, and
that's why I thought you were still in the basement.
Yeah, it is. Like I'm out of quarantine. I was out of quarantine Sunday, but we kind of thought
not what I was getting at. But anyway,
yeah, let's kind of stay separate, not be in the same room, because we've heard that 5 days after you could still, we've done a really good job to keep her from getting it. So,
yes.
But I'm going back up. I'll be back up. So if you tune into Blinkers Off, you'll see me.
And you have a lot of equipment to traipse up about 15 steps.
Yeah. I've got computers and microphones, and
you got to hook everything, then hook it all back.
Yeah. But tonight, Blinkers Off, my big return to the studio. So,
all right.
Okay, that's it. That's all we've got today. Another good show. Hey, by the way, thanks everybody for tuning into these shows.
You bet.
The show on Monday night was the most listened to and viewed show that we've ever had. So I thought that was great, and a lot of live viewers today as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. And we'll just keep on keeping on here. As far as the YouTube channel, we got a ton of stuff out right now. A lot of videos Magic and I did yesterday, talking about Val Baffert, Kentucky Derby, and the Rebel. We've got, what else do we have going on today? We've got Magic Mike coming up in about 2.5 hours, and then Blinkers Off will be about probably 6 p.m. Central, if I had to guess. So a lot more Rebel talk, a lot more horse racing talk. And then I think we will go live Saturday. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that one. But we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping up with the YouTube page. Hopefully you guys are enjoying all the content we're putting up on there. And all right, Papa Dude, we're going to get out of here. That sound good?
All right, sounds great.
All right, we'll see you guys on Monday.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels, never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,